I don't know if I've ever shot a video outside on this channel, but just yesterday I bought something. This, my buddy's, or formerly my buddy's, 2000 Jeep Cherokee Sport. You can probably see, if you look really close on the side here, that it used to be a police car. It's slightly lifted. I don't know if that was factory or not. I don't know enough about these to know. I know plenty of people like to lift these. The brush guard, I'm assuming, if it wasn't factory, it was added by the police department. Somebody put LED headlights in at some point, and they are really, really nice. It's a little worse for wear. But I paid $12.50 for it, and my old Skylake gaming PC, which I said was probably basically going to be $250. So basically I paid $1,500. That's my fault. When he first bought it a couple years ago, I tried to replace the antenna and just dropped the coax line down in there, and we never bothered fishing it out. But it is missing a fender. This happened almost immediately also. We don't know where it fell off, but it fell off at some point. It's a little beat up, you know. But I only gave him $500 less than he originally paid. He paid $2,000 for it originally. He bought another friend's Honda Civic hybrid with much better gas mileage. And I told him that when the time came, that I'd bail him out of this. And yeah, the rivets are all missing on this door card. That's fixable. Ooh, the heck was that? It's a little bit of a mess. Power locks, well, they sometimes work. Not today, they don't. Oh yeah, this door doesn't open from the inside. Opens from the outside, though. I certainly didn't realize how small these cars really were. The back seat here is cramped. Now, don't get me wrong, they're roomy for practical purposes. They're not giant, but plenty of room to use. But fitting 5 people in here is a bit of a challenge. Is that actually an ashtray? I don't know. Probably not. It looks like somebody used it as one, though. Rear AC, to some degree. You can't aim it or control it, but it does blow some air out back here. Here's a coax line of some sort for something police-related, I'm sure, and some other cable, and some empty pixie sticks. Yeah, none of that was me. Interior is a mixed bag. Overall, the seats and everything are in good shape. The driver's door card is a little messed up, but the rest of it is pretty alright. The headliner is long gone. I think it fell off when they removed the partition, the previous owner said. There's all kinds of funny things scratched into it. Up there it says Slayer somewhere. I'm not sure what happened to that visor. It didn't look like that when he first bought it, but this is his first car. So, you know, can't be too mad. Holy cow, getting out of these rear doors, even for someone kind of small like me, like, look at how tiny this is. It's kind of crazy, really. Nothing like slamming the door in an old American car, though. It does run. It drives, too. Not insured at the moment, though, so we're not going to be taking it on the road today. It's got some issues. Some of them caused by me, some of them not. one thing about it being lifted is little old me, a bit of a tough time getting the hood prop up there, but the AC works with the compressor. This fan shroud is missing, so if you want to lose a finger, there you go. PCV system is shot. I mean, I guess I can probably get these hoses. Wow, that one's just, yeah, that's a massive vacuum leak right there. That's probably some of the idle quality issues. I think the valve cover gasket's gone. You can see some leakage right here. I replaced the serpentine belt, and I think I did it poorly. It does squeak a little bit. This is zip tied. That's the coolant expansion tank line. That's zip tied because it was running right here originally, and, well, I don't know. Is this fan clutch any good? I'm not feeling any resistance yet. This fan clutch might be kind of shot. You can replace those things. I was under the impression you couldn't get them anymore, but I did find one for sale earlier. I feel like it should have stopped spinning by now. Yeah, Yeah, that didn't feel good. Oh well, it's cooling the engine, so it can't be completely shot. With the other fan, it is a dual fan system. The other fan is electric, so can't be too bad. I got to be careful leaning on this. This piece I think is fiberglass, and I've gotten some pieces stuck in me a couple of times. So, oh well, that's a big old bug stuck in the grill. It is a box. I mean, things are gonna fly into it, but yeah, I want to clean it up. The interior is just kind of gross. I got some glass cleaner. I'll use it on all the windows and stuff just for the heck of it and kind of pretty it up. This spotlight, this police spotlight, used to work. I don't think it does anymore. But obviously you can't use it. My buddy accidentally had it turned on once and got pulled over. It was kind of funny. Oh. Brake fluid is black. That probably ought to bleed that. That's not too big of a deal, but I'll add that to my list. He's got a bottle of power steering and a bottle of transmission fluid in the trunk, so it makes me wonder if it's leaking or burning those. I'm not entirely sure. The air filter probably needs to be replaced. For a little bit I thought perhaps the cruise control module had failed, but I think it was actually the steering wheel clock spring. Well, that's not supposed to be like that. I don't even know if you can buy that. I don't know what you'd call that or what that's even for. But, you know, it's 24 years old. I can register it as an antique next year. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. We did replace the battery when we first got it. I don't know how old the original battery was, but it was old enough that it seemed to be struggling a bit, so we replaced it. I'm gonna let it idle for a few minutes once I start it up and move it over there where it's easier to get to things. And when I do that, I'll definitely check the transmission and oil and stuff. What is going on here? Why are there bolts going through the valve cover? I've never seen that. Huh. Something I want to make sure and check if I can is all of the engine mount bolts, if I can get to them. I've heard that is a problem on these, mainly on the mid-90s ones. But you do not want to shear an engine mount bolt. That is for sure. Is there just a pile of rust on the exhaust manifold there? That's fun. Well, anyway. Let's start it up and see what it does. See if it does in fact start first try. It sometimes doesn't. Kill the AC. Low washer, check engine, airbag. Yeah, that airbag light, that's pretty indicative of a clock spring problem. And it turned off for a second there. Interesting. Okay. Well, it started and it's idling. Oil pressure gauge sometimes goes out. with a check gauges. I need to get the gauge cluster out and see if I can fix that. At least oil pressure isn't super important. I know that sounds stupid, but like most modern cars don't even have an oil pressure gauge, because if your oil pressure is low, you're gonna hear it. The temp gauge I think works. Battery voltage I think was the other one he said sometimes didn't. We have horn. Nope, no horn. Can't, I actually hit the gas. Can't turn the cruise control on and off. It does not work. We do have turn signals and wipers. What we don't have is the rear wiper. Never mind, we have the rear wiper. What the crap? That has never worked. American car wiring issues. Okay. Well, I'm fumigating myself with the engine running too rich. Yeah, that's, look at all that carbon buildup on the tailpipe. Yeah, there's, yeah. Look at how smooth this 6-cylinder engine runs, even when it's running poorly. Wild. I love these things. Alright, well. Oh yeah, and you hear that vacuum line. See if we can move this sucker on over. Alright. Oh yeah, some previous owner cheated the seatbelt switch, as you may have noticed. My seatbelt isn't on, and it ain't beeping at us. It's an automatic 4-speed. It's got third and low, which says 1-2, but so. I'm kind of in my mom's way now, I think. Mom ain't home. She's gonna want to park, you know. Front suspension's kind of shot. Steering rack ain't super great either, but it does the job. That it does. Yep, so just wanted to give a little tour. I'll probably film it starting up from the outside here in a minute, just for fun. And, you know, the fun stuff. A few little pieces of interior plastic are broken, because of course they are. Old automotive plastics and such. This radio is fine. It's not anything special, but like 1 or 2 of the speakers don't really work, so we just pan it all to the rear. And the rear ones sound terrible, but they do work. Somebody spilled a drink in the tray there. I'm going to try to clean that up too, because all those coins are, yeah, lovely. It's great. Oops. It's honestly pretty amusing how just loud this thing is. It's not even exhaust noise. I mean, the exhaust is kind of loud, for being stock, and I totally blasted my camera with exhaust water because I didn't realize just how much pressure was coming out of this thing. It's kind of wild. I'm not even sure the sound worked on video because it's probably just wind noise. But anyway, I'm letting it warm up so that I can check the fluid levels. If I kill the battery turning it on and off repeatedly, I've got a charger. It's not that big of a deal. But in the meantime, you can kind of see the engine having a little trouble holding its idle with how this bottle is shaking. Bottle, can, whatever it is. Anyway, I'm going to use this. I already cleaned one of the windows. This stuff is crazy. Like, I'm just saying, you're cleaning any kind of glass, use this. This is the best stuff. I like how it smells. My mom hates how it smells, but I used to use it when I worked at a video game store. And honestly, this is the first time I've used it since then, and that was years ago. So it was pretty nostalgic, the smell that it put off. This is a shop towel. It's actually supposed to be glass specific. It's not the regular one. I don't know what makes it for glass, but that's what it said. So basically, you know, you shake this up and you give it a little couple of sprays. It foams up like that. If it doesn't foam, you didn't shake it enough. And then you get your paper towel and you just wipe it down. It's not quite as great for like dirt spots as like Windex is in my experience, but it does get all the fingerprints and the thin layer of grime off, which made it especially useful for retail space, of course. That's why we used it at the video game shop. It's kind of hard to see. The glass is just old and scratched up and whatnot, but it does look a little better. The insides are kind of bad too, so I need to do that as well. Also, dude, the rear tint in this is crazy. Like, I'm gonna put my childhood portable DVD player in the back seat here just for kicks, because like you could stink and watch a movie back here in broad daylight with how dark this is. It's hilarious. Oh, and also the oil pressure gauge started working again for some reason. And then I opened the door and it quit. Just watched it do that. How nice. Yeah, I think it's a loose connection. It's vibrations making it start and stop working, it seems like. Anyway, I'm gonna finish doing this. This is getting pretty warm now. Yeah, these things run hot. You really gotta make sure that they're staying cool. Which it's, assuming that gauge is right, it seems fine. Let's check the heat. See if we got heat. Yeah? Oh yeah. Nice and warm, yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're cooling. Let's hit it back to cold, kick on the AC. Oh yeah. It's not ice cold, but it's cool enough. Actually, it's getting there. Oh, it's getting there. That ain't half bad. I hadn't really tried it that much yet. Yeah, that terrible noise, that's like a bearing in the AC compressor or something. I'm not quite sure. But, it's not the engine. It's only the AC. And that's not bad. I mean, obviously newer cars are better. I'm not sure the system ever did better than it does now. But, yeah. Oh, there, our oil pressure's climbing back up. Let's see if it... No, I don't think it really works. It's like barely moving when I rev. And I don't think it's that the oil is low, because it doesn't sound like the oil's low. Yeah, no, see, it's just kind of hunting around weird. Yeah, I don't know. I actually realize now, I'm not sure the check gauges light is to say, oh, the gauge failed. I think it's to say, hey, something's wrong. Something is very wrong. But I mean, if there was actually no oil pressure, this thing would have thrown a rod by now, so we're fine. Anyway, That's enough of idling. This thing warms up quick, so it's been running for probably 10 minutes. And I'll check the fluids in a second once it's cooled down just a little bit. I wish I could convey to you in this video how hot it actually is over here, because it is really hot. Also, it doesn't reek, but it smells kind of strongly of burning oil over here. So there's definitely a leak onto the exhaust manifold, which is probably a fire hazard. Probably ought to fix that. But that doesn't really fit, does it? How bad could it be? Alright, so it idled for a while. I've been working on the interior side of the windows now. I wanted to show y'all. Yeah, it's not burning or leaking too much oil. It's still pretty much full, but man, that is really black. Need to do an oil change pretty quick. It's on my to-do list for sure. Previous owner had to replace the gauge cluster, and he said he didn't even know how long it had been since he did the oil change, because now his odometer reading is about 75,000 miles lower than it was, and still over 100,000. The transmission, though, is where it really gets interesting. Not only is it totally full, but it is cherry red. This thing is not burning transmission fluid. That's more than can be said about my 2016 Honda Accord. That dipstick is really annoying to deal with, though. Got it. Okay. And, obviously, head gasket is fine. Obviously, we would have seen that on the dipstick, but no head gasket fill. That's weird. A torque spec oil fill plug. That's cool. Yeah, head gasket's fine. Fan clutch might be fine, I realize. This might be a replacement clutch, and some newer clutches spin freely, apparently, so it is what it is. I do know the fan works, obviously. We saw it spinning, and when I broke the shroud, apparently the fan was slowly cutting into this main radiator hose, and that had to be replaced. Or at least, I don't know if it actually had to be replaced, but it did have to be rerouted. So that was fun. I refilled the washer fluid. Very nearly overfilled it. That was actually like about to spill over a second ago. I ran the rear windshield wiper, though. Which fun thing about the rear windshield wiper on these things, the washer fluid sprayer is this little nozzle on the wiper. You can kind of see if you look close. I don't want to run it again right now because I have to put the key in. But it, like, as it wipes, it just goes, just sprays it on the arc of the wiper. You see that on a lot of newer cars, but this is the only car this old I've seen that on. Kind of neat. This wiper is basically brand new. I actually put it on here about a year ago. Front wipers, I think, are also basically brand new. Maybe I didn't replace those. No, those are definitely old. So I don't buy the beam style wipers because they rattle real bad. I think it's actually pretty okay on this car, but on my Accord, they rattle obnoxiously, so I've switched to using conventional wipers again. It still sounds great. It really runs pretty smooth despite how rich it runs. And what is this? I mean, maybe it's just oil that dripped off the dipstick or something. I don't know. Or maybe the expansion tank is spewing out a teeny tiny bit. I don't know. Can't be that bad. Engine's not overheating or anything. Oh yeah, well, you know what? I will go ahead and put the key back in because I've got some amusing things I want to show. Just gonna leave that there for right now. And put the hood down here. Oh, haven't finished this side of the windshield yet. Put the key in and put it on. What does the odometer actually say anyway? 116. Yeah, this was over 200,000 with its original gauge cluster. But the original cluster, aside from failing and the speedometer quit working, the needles were so faded that I didn't know they were supposed to be orange. Like, Yeah, you can kind of see them glowing there. They're supposed to be orange. Also, those headlights are killer. And they work as DRLs? Look at this. That's intentional. Just a little bit of light. Put the headlights off. Go ahead and turn on the headlights here. They are bright, but not obnoxiously bright. I really dig them. I think they're actually dimmer than the stupid LED bulbs I put in my Accord that I actually sometimes feel guilty about. High beams are about the same brightness. They just throw a little further. You can see the rest of the lights came on there. And I don't think all the turn signal bulbs work. Yeah, there's one out right there, or one of the filaments is out at least on that side. I could replace that. How about the rear? Look good on the rear. Tail lights all work. Don't know about the brake lights, but it's okay. Now, the fun part is, driver window doesn't work, passenger window doesn't work, driver's rear window doesn't work, passenger rear window works. But not from that seat, only from the driver's seat. So if you want to order McDonald's, you gotta go and reverse through the drive-thru and you gotta have somebody sitting in the back seat. I'm just kidding, please don't do that. Sometimes the driver's side window, the driver window actually does work. I don't know if it's wiring down here. It probably is the wiring down here, let's be real. The window lock does nothing. As previously mentioned, the power locks don't work, although there is like a relay click on this side when you do it. Power mirror adjustment also sometimes works, but not usually. Like, it's not working right now. It's a mess. The spotlight doesn't work. Not that that's that important or anything, but the radio does work. Oh. It was coming out of that speaker for a second. That's fun. Yeah. Yeah, ain't that something. Yeah, so it needs a lot of work. But you know what? It runs and drives, and it'll run and drive better soon enough. Headgummit, it's just like me to forget the whole reason I even turned the car back on. I'm gonna kill this battery. But I have a charger, and I can jump it if I have to. I think my Accord is a much bigger battery, so... Anyway, we can run the front sprayers. Yeah, these windshield wipers... They do work, but I just don't like this type of windshield wiper. Now, have a look here in the back if you can see. Maybe I can boost that in post. Ain't that fun? Okay. Oops, didn't turn the wiper off. Not used to it actually working. Yep, and do we have a window? No. That worked for a surprising amount of time, despite it not working when we first bought the car. Guessing we still don't have a horn? We should like sit here and just hold the horn button and turn the wheel and see if it ever starts working. I have a feeling this clock spring is totally gone, and I don't want to pay for a new one, but not like I got a choice. Okay, well, it's pretty darn late now. It's, you know, totally dark outside. How's about we get a little POV night drive action here, and, you know, driving it a few feet, since that's all I can legally do right now. All right, do you start? Well, it was starting better earlier, but it did start. Hey, look, we have an oil pressure gauge. It's still not very responsive, but it climbed up there. That's funny. Okay. Go ahead and go on the AC. It's getting a little stuffy in here just 'cause I've been putting in some elbow grease, you know. Just gonna back it back into the same spot that it was in earlier. That squeaking you're hearing as the car sways is actually the driver's seat. It's missing a bolt. I plan on fixing that. Also, you may notice the washer fluid indicator is gone because I filled the washer fluid. Oh. There we go. There's a little old railroad tie in my driveway. This used to be a railroad, and I got stuck on it. I still haven't... Oh. The map lights don't work. That's weird. Okay, well the dome light works. Let me turn that on. Where's the... There we go. That's weird. I could have sworn this worked earlier. But if you ever need to turn the dome light on in an XJ Cherokee, or probably a Wrangler at the same time, the headlight... The headlight pull thing over here is also the gauge dimmer, and if you turn it all the way counterclockwise, it turns on the dome light, which is really weird. I think some Fords are probably the same way, but yeah, so I didn't clean out the tray here yet. I do plan to do that because it is kind of where I want to keep my garage door remote. But all the glass is pretty much clean. And my mom made me clean the glass in her car too, or at least the windshield, and it didn't go very well. I think the dashboard has been off-gassing really bad and leaving tons of this like film on the windshield. It's very annoying. It's really tiring to try to get that off. But I gotta say, that AC feels pretty good. It's not, you know, blisteringly cold. But it's cold enough. Floor motor is good and healthy. Alright. The AC coolant settling. Also, this car has welcome home lights. Turn the headlights off, but they stay on for a bit. That sounded bad, but I don't think it was. Anyway, I believe that's all for this time. Thank you for watching. This is completely new content for me. I don't usually do stuff like this. I mean, I did replace the battery in my Accord when I first got it and filmed that, but that's like really simple maintenance. But I don't know if I'll make more videos about this car. I do like this car a lot. We'll see. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's only two-wheel drive, obviously. There's not a four-wheel drive shifter. In fact, I think this tray would be that if it was four-wheel drive. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a comment, please leave it. I try to respond to all the comments I get. Sometimes I forget, though, and I apologize if I do. But thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Although, I should probably lock the doors, huh? Given that I can't use the power locks. Locked. Locked, I think. Oh, it has to be, because I just opened it. Locked. Key is in my pocket. I've got the spare anyway. Oh, locked. Locked. Get my paper towels. This State Farm tracker thing that's not mine that I'm going to throw in the garbage. My bottle of water. Yep. Alright, we're good. Y'all take care. Okay guys, a brief update. I've got to make this quick because the camera's battery has mysteriously depleted a bunch while it was just sitting over the last few days. I bought the car on Sunday, recorded most of this video on Monday. It is now Thursday. I've had time to insure it and drive it around a bit, and it's got some issues. Okay, so first of all, I didn't know at the time when I was recording the video last. There's something up with the AC. It works, but it is really loud. And this clutch bearing seems... Oh, oops. Sorry, fan. The clutch bearing seems... I mean, it's a little noisy. Noisier than it should be, but nothing too terrible. Now, I guess I can turn this light on. Yeah, like... It makes a little noise. Now, the inner part of the clutch, I don't know if this is supposed to be so hard to turn. But it certainly is hard to turn. And, it's insanely loud. One of my buddies recently bought an old Silverado that's basically straight piped. When I revved this, the AC compressor was making a squeal that was almost louder than his exhaust. It's bad. Power steering pump feels like it's got some weird resistance. It's probably okay, but the other pulleys all seem fine. The alternator makes a little bit of a funny noise. It's whatever. Fan shroud's broken. I already ordered that. I ordered these two hoses. I'll get those fixed. There's a slight coolant leak somewhere in here. I'm not quite sure what the deal is. And this is obviously disconnected because I had to remove the electric fan. And what I'm really concerned about is if we get down here... That's a lot of ATF. Automatic transmission fluid. It's cherry red. That's why the fluid was so fresh, I guess. I don't think my friend was intentionally withholding that from me. I think he just forgot. We are also, missing a bolt on the bell housing. So that's leaking there too. We got an engine oil leak around the drain plug, and that wasn't the case on Monday. I changed the oil, and apparently me messing with the drain plug has made it leak. Only a little bit. But, it's more than a leak from a seal usually would be. I'm going to have to top that off before I change the oil next, I'm sure. It's not going to make it to the next change. And for the record, it's only been parked in the garage for a few hours, and it left that big of a spot. It's not like a super fast leak, but it's not good. Not looking good. And I don't really want to drain all the oil. Just change the plug out. But I'm not sure I got another choice. Anything else? Nothing else has broken. Nothing new has happened. There's a new ticking sound from the engine after I changed the oil. I'm using the oil it said to use, but maybe it's lighter than what was in there. I don't know. Or not lighter necessarily, but more or less viscous. But it's running. It got me to work. It got me to dinner with friends yesterday night. Had some fun. You know. Oh, one other thing happened. I had to slam on the brakes for an idiot in a Kia Soul and learned that there's no pad left. Shine the light, but you can see, I'm sure. I'll go ahead and get the flashlight. The battery just went back up 1%. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's, needs rotors. Passenger side is okay-ish. The rears are drums, so I'm sure they're fine. Yeah, I think I was wrong. I don't think the front suspension is leaf springs. The rear certainly is, but the front seems to be coil springs, so maybe it's not much of an undertaking as I thought it would be. The AC does work still, regardless of how insanely loud it is. Gonna have to do some work on this. My concern is that if it's not the clutch, somebody recharged this and used the wrong kind of oil in the compressor, or drained the oil and didn't put new oil in, and the compressor's not long for this world. I don't know, and I'm not qualified to figure that out myself. I don't have AC recharge equipment or reclamation equipment, so, no. Oh well. Anyway, thanks for watching.